monkey see, monkey do. So who the fuck made you? Who the fuck made you? It feels like 1,000 years since I fell in love. But when your voice catches up, love will never be enough. Love will never be enough. Enough. Time to call your bluff. Got to sit and readjust. Enough. Let it go, it's tough. All we got is just as rough. When you're close to the time, how it's gonna hard take before our heart breaks. I'm taking my gaze, I can't sustain where I'm just playing the same damn game. I run away and I sink under the roof. Stop it! You do what you can, and I'll bring the big sorrow. Push it to the edge. Force the cloud of the mountain. Move down, play the game. Say my name, bitch. No queen, no offspring. Oh, healthy ending. Let the ball swing. It's all the same. Time to let go. Time to cut the cord. When love runs its course, always without one. Looking big, looking loose. Just take this ache away and build a better place where we will be wrong. Instead of providing to the wolves alone. Love will never be. There's a bunch of bullshit to take the pain away. Temporary fix, focus on the outside, while the soft bits left right away on the inside. Fuck that!
When we joined the Covenant, we took an oath.
According to our station, all without exception.
On the blood of our fathers, on the blood of our sons, we swore to uphold the Covenant.
Even to our dying breath.
Those who would break this oath are heretics, worthy of neither pity nor mercy. Even now, they use our Lord's creations to broadcast their lies.
We shall grind them into dust.
And continue our march to glorious salvation.
Here
Oh boy, oh man, oh me, oh my. Hello, 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 and hello. Man, has this been quite the end of the year. Folks are crashing out, folks are falling out with each other. Hold up. Shit. Da-da-da-ba-boop-boop-boop-boop-boop. Let me do a quick chat roll call real quick and we'll get into the show. First off, we got D the Degenerate. What's good, bro? Appreciate you stopping by. Got Anton Shigor, not to be confused with the No Country for Old Men. Thank you for stopping by, bro. We got the always and wonderful, well, the always wonderful and cool Zyrax. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you very much. Oh man, this has been the most wildest winter that I've seen in quite some time. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, man. This shit's been crazy. And we finally actually made it to the last day of the fucking year, bro. That's wild. I'm grateful, right? I'm overall very happy about it. I am. But reunited with some old family members and met some new ones. Shit, man. This has just been one big giant roller coaster. Like,
What a fucking nightmare.
this is crazy to me. We're finally here. So, I guess I'll make the most of it. But this is crazy to me, bro. I did a monologue yesterday, about a topic that keeps getting brought up and argued about. I don't know why. I don't understand the whole mess about it, but it was about the Armin leaders thing. And for some of you, it pisses people off for some reason. I don't understand why. Yeah, it is what it is, though. You know what I mean? There's there's nothing I can really do to change any of it, but get my name added to it. Yeah. I'm starting to notice that slowly but surely. That's just gonna be the thing now, adding me to it when I had no role into it at all. Oh man, this is hilarious. This is funny, but this comes with the territory. I understand, so I can't really get all obtuse about it. This year, I became an uncle. That's pretty crazy to me. We went to the Christmas party the other day and met up with some old family members. I thought, man, this shit's gonna derail. I thought it was gonna fall off the tracks. But I was like, there's gonna be food there, so at least there's that. And it ended up going pretty smooth. So I was very surprised with it for some odd reason. I am an archangel. I am perfect. I am perfectly innocent. I'm always outside the loop, under the radar. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Damn, poor witch doctor, bro. Like, I'm not like, pitying him in a bad thing, like, but bro takes a break and comes back, and the messiness is just like was just waiting for him. Like, God, dog, man. What? Me? I would never. You know me better. Come on. Come on now. You know me better than that.
Yeah, it's my fault. Look at it closely. Look at it closely. It's my fault, huh?
I would never. I would never. I'm not involved in anything. I am a patron saint. That is crazy though, how I found my way in the middle of things. Even though ironically I have no ill will towards anybody. Uh-huh. I have no idea what it is. No, but honestly, overall, I said this the other day when I was doing the monologue that I'm no longer as cool as I am being. I'm trying. I hope, man, I am trying to be a chill guy. I am really trying. But from now on, though, I ain't seeking it. But if it finds me, I'm not gonna duck from the chaos. I'm just gonna fully embrace whenever it comes my way, even if my name gets thrown in a hat or something I wasn't even involved in. I'm not above reproach. I never said I was, but if the messiness wants to drag me down with it, I guess I'll go. Won't take me alive. I have tried to be a chill guy, and apparently it doesn't work. So I guess this is just something I'm just destined to be for the rest of my life. Chaotic. It's better to own the chaos so that way I know. Because no matter how many times I'm told, I'll never know where the chaos is coming from or why it chooses to follow me. But it is what it is. I'm not worried about any of it. I guess doing what I did found me in a bunch of more of it. So I accept it. It is what it is. But what I wanted to talk about, it's a semi-topic. It's not a whole big one, but it gets brought up a lot, and folks bring it up, and then they argue about it, and then, like they hurry it under the rug, like they just brush it. They brush it out the front door immediately. But I just never understood as to why or how men are not leaders, right? I by default, if you want to just go by just the notion of what reality is right now, men are the leaders by default of society. But what I never understood is this specific point about the topic gets brought up and never really explained about, right? They said, well, are men leaders? And some will say no. And they'll say why they're not leaders, because we can't go out and just tell people what to do. I don't, what? I don't understand that part. Like randomly just going out your door and just telling your neighbor to do with their lawn, right? That's fucking weird to me. But I'd like to think, at least even bring it down to the general sense, that men are the leaders of their households, right? They're paying the bills, they're keeping the roof over the folks' head, the clothes on everyone's back, bringing in the money to have for the food to bring in to cook and all that. So just by going with that, and then on the outside of the house part, where how are men leaders of society? Well, men are the one building these buildings we see every day. They're the ones building the infrastructure and taking care of it every day. They're the ones who are creating laws and passing them for everyone to follow and abide by. Now, on the other aspect, I was on someone else's live. Oh shit, Staley. It was good, bro. Appreciate you stopping by. Um, Based off that in itself, I fail to comprehend how men ain't the leaders. But before I digress, and I also understand the notion that not everybody's built for it, right? Not everybody has the fortitude to go along with said role. It's a bit of a conundrum, I guess, for some, and some were just inherently born for it. I can't say you make. I can't. I won't say that you can't make a leader, right? That's a position, for the most part, in a general sense, within at least the civilian level, from day to day people. That's an earned position. He is young. A boy is very young, and he learns from the men in his family how to conduct himself in a particular way. And throughout time and through practice and through trial and error, he finds a way that even if he goes against the way that he was taught, he can find a way to modify what he's told to have it work for him, and he can carry on that quote unquote traditional position. Maybe that's just me from the outside looking in, I guess. I get that. I wholeheartedly get that. I really do. That seems not for to go around with that aspect. I guess that's a way of, in a way, greedy. Like where you hog everything, you want everything for yourself. I think that's called greed. I could be wrong, but I personally would like to think that men are leaders of their household. At least that, right? I don't think there's such thing as going outside your house and you tell a just random stranger what to do. Like you go to the grocery store and you tell a random stranger, "Hey, give me that shopping cart now." I know for a fact that that's not going to be the that's not going to happen. You're going to be looked at funny, or you're going to get checked one way or the other. That's very true. That's very true. Leadership is a mantle or burden that you have to want to carry. You have to study and analyze the situation before you get into it and weigh it out whether or not that you're able to handle it and or if you're able to maintain it. Because there was some other folks. Exactly that is exactly what I was going to get to. No need to lead randoms, just people under your authority. Exactly. I wholeheartedly agree. I think there was when people try to have these talks, a lot of convoluting and conflating happens with just telling random people what to do. And there's some folks who put so much pressure on themselves when they have it because they want to push themselves, but sometimes they end up doing too much and they burn out too quick. I think a lot of people have that problem too. But as with everything else, through trial and error, that can get fixed and modified, and you can operate in a I guess slower manner that helps you with elongating the roll, or run, or reign, whatever the hell you want, word you want to use. Another future topic that I gotta cover because Stanley, y'all were talking about this the other day, and I was like, "Yo, that's a dope topic to talk about." Oh, but the difference between a baby mama and a mother and a woman with children—that's a great topic to hit in the future. Because not a lot of people do differentiate that. A big generalization and boxing in happens when you hear about a woman with children. It's quite unfortunate, but he talking about what do you call it then? Another thing too that I was watching a debate between a couple of people, and one of them was to say out of pocket is like an understatement because it was so contradicting in nature that it just made absolutely no sense. But they essentially said that the leader follows his people. That's that's so oxymoronic, right? It's all good, no worries. That's the best way. That's the only way actually. If you go off of other people's stories, you're not really gonna you're gonna let folks you're gonna let folks think for you essentially when they give you too many stories about said. They can have themselves a bad experience about something, and then they go out and say, "Well, I don't like this," and they can have an ulterior motive behind telling you the story about what they had with that said person, with the single mom, and they can just go out and just tell like 100 different stories of why you shouldn't. It's an interesting topic because I think a lot of people right off the bat, right at the cusp of it, just the inherent notion of it. You hear, well, don't do it if you don't have kids. Don't do it if you're not ready for. Because there's a lot that comes with it. There really is. But also on the flip side of it, I think I touched upon this like a little bit before. I never really went all the way in with it. But single moms, not every this is gonna sound like I'm aiming for one or something like that. I'm really not, honestly. I think the simple notion of differentiating between the two is a good topic in and of itself. You hear a single mom, no, don't do it. You don't have no kids. You don't. You just know there's no point. There's like 100 pros and cons with it. But at the end of the day, people are gonna choose what they're gonna choose. I'm not gonna. It's easy to make fun of them if they go do something like that. 9 times out of 10, I'm just fucking with them though. I'm not really just. I don't really have any type of what's the hard feelings or whatever about it. I just like to talk shit. There's a lot of couples out there who there's a woman out there who got with a single dad and they end up riding off into the sunset and vice versa. Dude got with a single mom and they just, live the Disney life and that's the last you heard of them. But yeah, I agree. If you go off of other people's stories and experiences instead of finding your own, you're gonna burn out quick. There's no reason to. At least that's my take on it. I don't. There's a lot of other folks who have a different. Because on one hand, you have the dude who's quote unquote a bachelor, right? He's doing his thing. He's making his money. He's on the right path. And then there's this woman who comes along who's 1 out of 10, at least an 8, right? She has the Coke bottle figure. She has the cooking skills of a chef. Bada bing, bada boom. But she has children. Now, based off of the aesthetics alone, judging from the outside, you would say that's not too smart of a decision. But oh shit, I got a knock at the door. Hold up real quick. Hold up real quick. Hold up real quick. Yo, what's good?
Gas mask, what's good, bro?
What's up, bro? Just
Ain't nothing.
chilling.
Yeah, I heard you wanted to chop up on that topic we was talking about.
Yeah, I've honestly, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody differentiate the two.
For real, it, it's important that we do that though.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know what I'm saying? Because and this is why I get frustrated when a group of women would jump in front of a bullet that's not even shot at them, and they try to make it seem like, oh, he's blanking in this statement over all women. No, we're not. We're
Hold up,
not
hold up,
saying.
hold up, real quick. I got another knock at the door, real quick.
Cyrax.
What up, Zarex?
Okay, guys. Sorry, don't mind me.
Yeah, so you were saying, Stanley?
No, I was just saying like there is a differentiation to be made because every woman with a child is not a baby mother in the essence or in the sense that we label the term baby mom.
Yep,
And it's
I agree.
crazy because even Google knows that, you know what I'm saying, and AI knows that, and people need to understand that those entities only know the information that we give it.
Yep.
So, like, because I mean, I got partners, you know what I'm saying, who married women with children, and it's like he didn't marry a baby mama, you know what I'm saying, or this person
Yeah.
didn't. Like, matter of fact, I actually learned from this or picked up on it from watching the movie called Women at Brewster's Place. You familiar with that movie? Had Oprah and
I'm
all in it.
I'm not, unfortunately.
All right. Well, in this movie, it was a bunch of women. Just when you get a chance, just go back and look at it. But
Right.
what I picked up out of this movie was the fact that there was a lady. They showed a lady, right? And she
Mhm.
had it was a single mom. She had a bunch of children. Don't know whether all the kids had the same father or whatever the case may be. They didn't go into all of that. The fact was, one of the children was eating out of the trash can, and another lady saw this and tried to bring it to this lady's attention. The initial reaction was, "Why you all in my business?"
Mhm.
Instead of "Thank you for bringing my son to me because he was eating out of the trash can, like he shouldn't be doing it." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
fast forward towards the end of the movie, because like I said, it's one thing to have your kids bouncing all over the place and you don't have no control over them. That tells the man, or that tells anybody really, that there's no discipline
Structure.
or control or structure in that situation. So
Yep.
fast forward to the end, they show her walking down the street, and her kids, they're going to church, and her children are lined up like they're in the army. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tallest to the smallest, and everybody was sharp. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was, because they were going to church. And a
Mhm.
lot of men looked at this woman differently. You see what I'm saying? And I was like, because people like to dismiss or overlook what's being shown in movies, but art imitate life. What I what I
Yep.
gathered what I gathered from that was these men looked at this woman a different way, because the situation hasn't changed. It's just it looks more structured or whatever the case may be, right? So
Mhm.
then it led up to her meeting a dude, and she gave him the reins or whatever the case may be. If you're gonna let a man lead, lead. You know what I'm saying? Let him lead, but you don't. And I hate saying let him lead, but at the same time, you can't be, as the partner in the relationship, you can't be giving him no pushback. He's trying to
Yeah.
take y'all somewhere. You can't be an obstacle when there's already other obstacles outside of the relationship that's going to come along. He don't need an obstacle on the inside of the relationship. I
Yeah.
think leaders get sabotaged in relationships a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you when you was like, only thing you really can do is lead yourself and lead your household. That's where it starts with.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, and if we're just keeping it real and keeping it honest with ourselves, it don't matter how many brothers we got or whatever the case may be. Once we get out here in this thing called life and we realize we're by ourselves and we actually meet somebody that we like, I'm saying as men, once we meet somebody that we like and we start kicking it with them, we start building with them, that's now our life, right or wrong.
Yep. I agree.
And you realize, because going into it, that I'm gonna do everything I can. This woman has all of me. All I'm asking for in return is all of her. Especially
Yep.
once we start having children and all of that stuff. Like, we don't have a child and then you ask me, do you love me? You know what I'm saying? You don't ask
Yep.
a man 2 years after y'all had a child together, do you love me? Like, what? Where were you? So I just put babies in female. Really? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we don't be having the real conversations when we have these conversations. There are certain types of women that act in a way that we put that label on them. You're a baby mom. You're not a woman with kids, or you're not operating in this world as a mother. That's
Yeah. A baby mama is someone who's essentially degenerate overall, and then the woman with children has a disciplined hierarchy there, and there's each role is respected by each of the those in the relationship, the
Absolutely,
family.
absolutely. 'Cause let me tell you the truth of the matter, and I'm speaking from a married man. My wife, I need my wife to carry herself in a way so that in the event that something does happen to me, she don't have to be out here by herself if she doesn't want to. Because you still
Yeah,
have to keep your level of marketability up. And that's what I was trying to tell when I interjected that story that I was saying, using a real life experience that a person want to just overlook or just dismiss because they're trying to sound right instead of be right. The
yeah,
situation was just because this woman's husband cheated on her, that don't mean that's a green light for her to go cheat.
yeah. It makes it worse.
Exactly. Because what if she wants to find somebody else that's worth being with? She don't want to be seen out there as somebody who, you the type that'll get back or whatever the case may be. Like you don't diminish your value because somebody did what they did. You know what I'm saying? And hurt you. And it was like that's what I got out of that. And I'm like, if I'm hearing this from somebody with the experience and all of that, it's like that took me back.
Yep. Even with the wanting to get back with the cheating part, regardless of man or the woman, there's a high potential of you being that one off chance that you end up sleeping or cheating with on your spouse, and that one person who you cheated with on your spouse, that they have something like the HIV, or you know what I mean?
Right, right.
And then
But
you come back and you don't even know you have it, and you go to the doctors one day, and you're like, how the hell did I end up with this? And
right.
you probably
But
end up not even knowing.
but see, the conversation wasn't for me, even though it was said to me, but the woman that I'm speaking to is my wife's mother,
Okay.
right? So check this out. This is one of the missing pieces that we don't get to talk about, and I didn't get to talk about that on there because I got talked over. But being that my future wife was listening to that what was that telling her? As a woman, this is how you operate. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even, and I'm not knocking her, because both of us was like, man, we know that there's certain good people, well off people that want to take you seriously. And she like, nah, I married this man. I signed up for this.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know it's certain people that want me and whatever like that, but nah, I know what I signed up for. So she always maintained her value. You see what I'm saying? Even though her husband stepped out on her and had a child. So a lot of this stuff that I hear on social media, I'm like, I've been I've been there in this situation in real time, and I seen a woman keep her class in that situation. Whereas everybody else will crash out because they thinking that they got back with somebody. But guess what? That story don't end there, because whatever happened to him, and he brought all that on himself, and that's something that he had to deal with. But at the end
Yep.
of the day, that woman said, I didn't put none of that pain on him. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is real
Yep.
life stuff. The child that he ended up having, that child causing him more stress than you can imagine. But like I said, even me and my wife at the time, we was on one wavelength or whatever the case like that. But when she heard that and I heard that, I was like, that actually do sound better. You know what I'm saying? So it's telling my future wife, nah, you don't declass yourself in the event that something like that happens. You see what I'm saying? And we're not
Hmm.
passing, this information is not being passed down. And I'm like, damn, I caught that in real time. Some information being passed down from the mom to the daughter. And so when her mom passed away, you know what I'm saying? It's like I knew the responsibility that I'm taking. I'm with this woman and her mom passes away.
Damn,
So
that's
when
rough.
people be talking about leadership, sometimes you have, like I say, it's a mantle that you have to want to even be able
Yep.
to handle it. Because at the end of the day, when stuff go bad and you like, why am I doing this? because we all get to that point. I don't care how good your job is, how good your
Yep,
situation. We all get to
I
that
agree.
point. Why am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? But if you
Some
don't know,
folks just bail out too early and they just leave it all together,
hmm
thinking it was going to be a cakewalk.
right, and they leave it all together, thinking that, oh, that's done with it. I done wipe my hands with. No, especially when y'all had children.
Exactly.
Because I'm like I say, bro. When I speak from experience. I had three. Well, I thought I had three children from a previous marriage, but it ended up being two. So that's a whole nother story in and of itself. But I have one of my children back from that previous marriage because she came and seeked me out. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So we could play these games with our kids and try to demonize the father, demonize the mother, or try to make ourselves look good. These children don't care about none of that. Like, you slept with them, you made, and y'all made me. I still need to find out who this other person is.
Yep.
And that's the painful thing, that the person that comes into a bad situation or a situation that's not controlled, and he has to differentiate whether he's dealing with a baby mom or a woman with children.
Yep. The situation amplifies when there's children because you then have to deal with the notion of this is happening because potentially something they did and they end up feeling unloved and they go
Yeah,
out and act amuck in the streets because they're trying to compensate to maybe I messed up at home, so maybe if I can reset over here,
yeah,
and they end up kicking it with dealers and bangers and all that, and
oh yeah,
just
all
one
that.
slippery step next after the other.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm hearing, I'm hearing the horror stories now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, you here now. You know what I'm saying? And all I can do is just, take you under my wing and give you the protection and stuff that you was lacking. But I can't do nothing about that. But at the same time, it's a lesson for all of us to learn. And it's like, that's why I didn't want to have children if I wasn't going to be in their life. I don't know why women think men sign up for that. Like,
Yep.
having a child or knowing that we have a being, a life out here, another one of us, another version of us, and we don't
Yep.
have nothing to do with it. It that nah. I, mm-mm. I'm not saying that it don't happen, because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you can knock folks up and don't know.
Yeah.
Cause
Shit happens.
yeah, them one night stands, them after the club, like. But we, a lot of, like I say, I get frustrated because we don't have real conversations, and when we don't have real conversations, then we just keep going around in a circle.
And you
Like,
never know who's listening too.
right. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, y'all don't know. It's because I was there. I was on the other side of the screen before I became a content creator earlier this year. I used to be the person on the other side of the screen. I'm just listening to content. And whether
Yeah.
people know it or not, as a married man, or even before I got married, because I only been married for 5 years, but we've been together for 15 years. So
Yeah.
a lot of the content that I'm watching, whether you know it or not, it kept me in my relationship. Because I'm like, deal with this or deal with that, or have the possibility of dealing with that. Nah, I'm straight. I got to make this work. So
You're
a lot.
listening with the hopes that it's substantial and you can take it away from it and
Yeah,
activate it in your real life offline.
right. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was having this conversation a couple of minutes ago, right before I jumped on here. I figured it out. I said, as a man, as somebody who is a husband and a father, since I have people that's dependent on me, I have to know when people are using reverse psychology, manipulation, or any kind of tactics like that. I have to pick up on it. A lot of people
Yep.
would demonize you for being able to pick out their bullshit, but I'm like, I have to pick out. I have to be able to scope that, because if I don't be able to scope that, then y'all are going to be in trouble with me as your leader.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so.
Discernment as a man is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. and it's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? Like we know
Yep.
what we signed up for.
Yep. I agree. What say you, Xerax?
Well, I wanted to ask, can you hear me?
Your mic's super underwater.
Mhm. Okay.
Oh, she's doing
No, you
that.
still can't hear me?
Oh, a little better.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Is this
I
better?
could,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're super choppy, like you're underwater. It's weird.
Okay.
but I know what you want to ask me. But I mean, I'm still gonna hear you out though. But I know what you want to ask.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay, good. Um,
it still has that crackle in it, but it's louder.
okay. How about now?
It's less crackly now, but I
I'm
think
gonna
that's
go
probably the
out.
best you're gonna get.
I'm gonna go out and then come back in, okay?
All right. So I was gonna say, I
Hmm.
think inherently, as overall, 9 times out of 10, when a man is a leader, like a solidified, like vetted, I think for the most part, and I don't know how to quantify it, but I think a leader, nonetheless, he has that. I'm not gonna say like a gene or anything, but I think it's inherent programming that I think the father and the mom just something in them they had. And when you see someone who's prominent, like when you see someone who's a quote unquote leader, they have like a presence to them. Like when they walk in a room, you can tell that's them. Like you don't even have to see them; you can hear their steps, and you can just like a
Right.
vision, an image of them comes to your brain, and you turn around and yep, that's exactly who. That's exactly who I knew it was.
Yeah, I mean, once you turn that energy on, then it kind of comes from you. It eludes from you. But you got to
Yeah,
understand though, that's to become that is to understand why we have to go from that transition from boy to man. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
Because we can still be boys in our manhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
in our adulthood, let's say. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I agree.
If if we're not if we're not cut off at a certain point, that failure to launch type situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm not knocking it. All I'm saying is it's a real thing
Yeah. Some
because
folks get breath in the position too quick sometimes.
right, and because I get a lot of pushback when I say that uh, women can't raise boys into a man, and they get upset with me,
I say that too.
but it's fundamental, and the reason why I know it's fundamental because don't no woman want a mama's boy because we all
Exactly.
know what a mama's boy is. They make variations of it, but we know what that mama's boy is. The one who's putting his mama over you. He could
Yep.
love his mama, he can care for his mama as he should, but at he's taking you seriously. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things
Yeah.
that mom you got to stay over there in your mom lane. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So as a man, this is how we know we become men when we stop listening to our mama.
Exactly.
Like, mom, you can't tell me nothing. Like, I hear you, and I'm not gonna be disrespectful. But as soon as I go outside, man, I ain't standing none of that you talking about. Cause I got to figure this
Exactly.
thing out as a man. Nothing you are telling me is gonna help me because you're telling me as a woman.
Exactly.
You know
A
what I
lot of
mean?
men like that are pushovers too.
Yeah. That's because they once you
They let the woman.
acquiesce, yeah, because once you acquiesce to your mom, you know what I'm saying? It ain't it's not hard to acquiesce to other females because they're just basic replications of your mom. But what makes it worse is y'all can have sex.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why the Bible tells you if you cleave to your wife, your mama is somebody else's wife. She need to be cleaving to what she got going on. She shouldn't even have time to be worrying about what you got going on. But I had an issue in real life where I had to I was telling my mom no about something, and my wife, who wasn't, like I said, this was early on. This was like in the first year of our relationship. But she done met mom and stuff like that. But she's still trying to gain mom's, support or whatever the case may be. And I'm
Trust.
like, yeah, her trust. But I'm like, you got mine. You don't need hers. But I see what you're talking about, or I get where you're coming from, or I'm trying to understand as a man. But I'm telling you, if she like you and I don't like you, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I need to like you. So anyway,
Exactly.
it was a situation where I told my mom, no, I'm not doing that. And my wife, you know what I'm saying, because we had on speakerphone, and she was like, well, don't worry about it. I'll get him, or I'll talk him into doing it for you. And I looked at her, I'm like, uh-oh, time out. Since I got both of y'all here. I just told her no. If I told my mama no, what the hell make you think I ain't gonna tell you no? I'm stamping that right here and right now. I just told her no. No means no. If I wanted to do it, I would have just did it. You don't have to convince me to do nothing. Because guess what?
Yep.
You can't convince me to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no man that you can convince to do stuff. Trust me, you don't. Because if I know you need it done, it's going to get done. But some random whim, or you trying to, no, it don't work like that. You don't use me as no damn puppet to gain good graces with her. Oh, my
Yep.
bad. I kept talking. Zyrax, when you come back, ask your question, Miss Lady.
It's all good.
Because I know, but anyway, to get to what she was alluding to, I ain't wanted to give it away. I really did want her to ask it. But she was saying that's not how leadership works, as far as when you were saying you can't just go outside, or even as us creators up here on this panel, we got to watch how we talk, as if we're not trying to tell random people what to do. You know what I'm saying? That's not leadership. Now, if people are willing to follow you, then hopefully you're the type of leader that will guide them in the right direction. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of sheep out here. It ain't hard to get followers. Like, we're in the follow culture. Let's keep it a stack. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? So all I'm saying is, in real life, no, I'm not finna lead no people that I don't know, and I'm not finna just be randomly telling people I don't know what to do, because I still got to get home to the people that are under my authority.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it don't work like that. If somebody out here acting whatever, that's not my wife. That's not my sister. That's not my cousin. That's not, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no authority to tell her, hey, what you doing?
Exactly.
And even if she is my sister, if my sister is married, it still ain't my authority. It's her husband's job at this point. So,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like I say, bro, we have to have the real conversation. So appreciate you having me on.
Each individual is accountable for themselves.
Right. Straight up. Like, you hopped into a situation, or you created a situation, and now you want me to come and randomly save you because I'm a man. It don't work like that. Because, as you know what I'm saying, you don't want your dude constantly crashing out for females that he don't know. And I know that's the truth, because that's what they'll tell us. Don't be crashing out for no random. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But then when we said, oh, no, we need to be here. No, it don't work like that. Trust me. Like I said, as a man, we out here by ourselves, just like they by themselves. And when we meet them and we like them, et cetera, we already got in our mind that we want to take care of them. We want to make sure they are all right. If something happens while we're together, I'm gonna make sure I protect her. Like, we
Yep.
already have that in our mind and in our heart. But if it's going to somebody who off the gate want to manipulate us because of whatever they allowed themselves to go through, because
Yeah,
y'all don't
I
have to
agree.
y'all don't have to have ladies. Y'all don't have to have sexual trauma. Y'all choose who y'all give y'all box to.
Thanks. 100%. Yep.
I ain't gonna tell my daughter nothing different. Daughters, because I have two of them. I don't tell them nothing different. You choose who you give that to, and that's the only bargaining chip you really got. And what I
They can
mean
figure
by
that
that,
out.
he could find somebody cuter, finer, thicker, or whatever the case may be. Like, what are you really doing for him? And her question, which is smart, she was like, well, what does mom do for you that makes you like mom? I said, well, what I like most about mom, you know what I'm saying, is how she feels about me. All the rest of that
Mhm.
stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, the looks got her into the door, but no, now it's how you feel about me, how you respect me.
I
That's my
agree.
level of like, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of folks weirdly have this convoluted thought where they have this some type of rule over the leader, like they tell the leader what to do. That's
Right.
weird to me. Where somehow like the leader has to follow his constituents. That's you. No,
But
it
that's the
doesn't work
thing.
like that. If I'm
Yeah,
the leader, then you go by my commands. I don't really go by yours.
right. I'm gonna be honest with you. A part of that is their nature up and until it stopped. And that's why I be joking with Izzy Bands. Like, if we really think about whether the story is true or not, it's a story for a reason. If the story about Adam and Eve in the garden is true, the only thing that did not happen that should have happened was he wasn't supposed to listen to her. Because even after all of that, think about it, he still stayed with her, even after getting kicked out of the garden. So our jobs is, and what we were supposed to pick up from that was, you don't listen to her. Like,
Choices
straight up.
trickle down too.
Yeah. Like, you don't, and I'm not saying don't listen to her as in y'all don't communicate, you don't take her opinions or her advice or whatever like that. No. And I have to clarify that because people say, oh, he just said don't listen to women. No, what I mean by is you have to be able to say no. I
Yep.
love you, but no. Hell no. We ain't finna do that. And I'm gonna show you why we not finna do that. And you'll appreciate me later. Now go ahead and you can cry about it now. But hey,
It
and
also
that's
shows that the choices trickle down because we had a more you had it was immortality or whatever the hell it's called before that, and then now we were doomed to die once we're done with life.
right.
That's another lesson to toss. Your choices have ripple effects, so make
Yep.
sure you choose wisely.
Right. But let me tell you
So
what I
now,
learned. I'm gonna tell you just real quick, bro. I'm gonna tell you what I learned. Cause I used to not want to be that person, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't it didn't hit me until like, no, you ain't really fussing at her. You telling her out of love. So being that you
yeah,
telling her out of love, you can explain it to her. So stand on it. And when I stood on it, she got into her feelings. You know what I'm saying? She turned into a girl. She turned into a woman. You know what I'm saying? And then she came back later and was like, you know what? I was acting like a little girl. You right.
hmm
So it's not so much as I found out that no, they want to be corrected. They want to know that you have the testicular fortitude to tell them no,
it's
shut
part of
up,
their vetting process.
right? Like, cause it's like it sends a signal in them that he mean what he say, and I thought that it would have turned her off, and it didn't, and that's when I knew I had one.
The number one trait in man that women are seeking is discipline.
Yes, yes,
They need to know he's capable of creating. Making the hard decisions when the time arises.
right. Cause it's hard to tell them no. They got something that don't no other species on this planet have that we actually like. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that ain't nothing to play with. It's just not.
A lot of that's because of the parents too. They grew up giving her everything she wanted. They always wanted to just make her happy, and they couldn't possibly bear the thought of telling her, "No, I want this Barbie doll." So they just constantly bought the toys. They constantly bought the outfit. They constantly bought the makeup, and they couldn't bear to see the little girl, little princess, frown or sad. And
Mhm.
now she's now come the relationship in adulthood. It's become accustomed to just get what she wants, and when she finally meets the man that says, "Well, I don't think that's maybe in the budget, or we don't really have room for that in the current agenda," and she's there looking at you like, "Wait a minute, but that's not what my dad told me. That's not how," and you're just like, "Well, you know what I mean?"
Right. But see, it's a this is how I fix that situation. I'm just saying, well, go back and live with your daddy then.
Exactly.
Then they think about it real hard, like, oh yeah, right. Because once you out here in this world doing grown up stuff, it ain't no going back home unless you got them type of parents that allow that. Yep, Anton, the
Exactly.
art of leadership is saying no, not yes. It's easy to say yes, straight up, and we call them yes men. I'm telling you, like,
Exactly.
man, look, told her no. She sat there in her feelings, and I stood on it because they waiting for you to break. They know you gonna break. Like they turn into the most feminine being on the planet. It's just a lose from them. The eyes turn up and get real sad. They face pouty and all that extra. You know what I'm saying?
Get super stubborn.
Right. And you still got to stand on it. Like, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you the second level to that. When you have a daughter, when you have, you know what I'm saying, a female version of yourself that you know you'll do anything for, and you have to tell her no.
Yep.
No, sweetheart. I'm gonna tell you no, and I'm gonna explain why. But welcome back, Zarek.
Thank you. Go ahead.
You said you had a question.
Yeah, but I'll ask you after you finish.
I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to ask you, going back to what you said before, would you um would let me see, would you call like a wife that has, kids, would you call that would you call her a baby mama also?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like if you were a wife, you were
Mm-hmm.
married to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because to be,
Uh,
first of
I'll
all,
be right back. Put it down for me real quick.
Hmm.
to be a wife or somebody to take you that seriously, to to go that far with y'all, go that far into the relationship as far as marrying you and then y'all have children, then no, you're not looked at as a baby mama. You're looked at as somebody took you seriously and they had a child with you and it didn't work. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
Um, what about a divorcee?
You're a divorcee. You're not a baby mama
Okay.
because you were
Now,
actually married. Somebody took you seriously. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not easy to get married. That means somebody actually took you seriously and said at one time or another that they felt so strongly about you that they want to spend the rest of their life with you, and you agreed.
okay. Um, what about a woman that has, multiple babies by multiple baby daddies?
Multiple babies by multiple baby daddies, and was never married,
Mm-hmm.
never ever taken seriously. Like every guy she ended up thinking that was her boyfriend, she had a baby for.
Yes.
That's a baby mama.
Mm, okay. So, no, what makes her, be considered as a woman with kids?
because she
Like,
was because she wasn't taken seriously by none of the men that she allowed to reconfigure her body. You know what I'm saying? As far as what kids do, because you're linking yourself to somebody forever, and for them not to even take you seriously tells the men on the outside who would take you seriously or who would actually like to take that person seriously, like, but the person that gave them a baby didn't even take them seriously, and she allowed that. So it's like, even if it's not true that she has the baby mama mentality, it gives off that signal.
Okay, now say so-called what we would consider, a baby mama, right? But what if she's like, if she's a career woman and she, even though she has two kids by two different baby daddies, but she handles her, her household and stuff. Her kids are you know, are good mannered kids. Would she still be considered as a baby mama or a woman with kids?
Are the fathers still in their lives?
Let's say, yeah, like, because I see the things I like to think that, a lot of times women, they get into relationship and they think that, it's going to go somewhere, but then, something happens and then, they break up and then, yeah, she's pregnant and she has, she keeps the kid. I don't think, I don't like, to me, I don't think that,
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
mass
I
scale.
know. Y'all don't.
Okay, okay.
Women who have been in that particular situation. Trust me, as men, we understand y'all don't want that stigma on y'all. But
Hmm.
what y'all, but what we need y'all to understand is it's a burden enough on us. We'll never say it, so I'm gonna say it for us. It's a burden enough for us because we put our lives on the line for y'all. But now we're putting our lives on the line for you and a child that ain't even ours, who eventually gonna grow up one day and be like, "You're not my dad," and he's supposed to say that because he's being honest. I'm not, but I know what I signed up for. I don't need you to or expect for you to understand that because you won't. It's a part of you that knows that I'm not it. So what I'm saying is I understand, whatever, because yes, these situations, it's a longer spectrum. A lot of things can happen, but it's how the
Hmm.
woman carries herself that would make the person that is going to want her look at her as a woman with children versus a baby mama. So what I'm saying is y'all don't, not y'all per se, but women don't do themselves a service by not acknowledging the elephant in the room. It's enough to deal with your stuff, but now we got to deal with a tag along. We'll never love that child the way that we would the child that me and you have.
Right.
You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And that's
Yes.
just pure fact. But also knowing that, that's why we can also understand why he grows up and say, "You ain't my daddy." You know what I mean? And even though that's a huge pill to swallow and a gut punch, it's the truth. So it still goes back on the woman because the woman's supposed to instill that you're right. He's not your father, but he's my husband. So
Hmm.
what you're going
Right.
to do is have this respect. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't have to take me and you on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Hmm.
that's why I don't understand why. And I'm not saying that you're doing it at all. But when we have these conversations, a lot of women will dial the accountability on them. Like, you're not already starting behind the eight ball. Like, men who want to spend the rest of our lives with y'all, like, y'all are our everything. For us to know that somebody else not only been with y'all, but they have the proof, and we got to see it every day. It does something to us. So we can't be bashed for um having this want or desire to kind of avoid that. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against y'all. And I hate that it comes off as that, but because we know y'all need love too. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Y'all didn't ask
Hmm.
for the situations that y'all have been in. We understand that.
No, everything you said, I
You
agree. I definitely agree. Yeah. I'm sorry, Gas. Go ahead.
I wanted to say another thing that gets kind of glossed over is when a man gets with a single mom, he has the potential risk of always being in some type of dysfunction with the child's father for one reason or another. And he could be the
Yes,
type that wasn't even watching the kid to begin with. He just wants to start suddenly being in the life because you stepped up where he wasn't. And
yes, I do get both sides of
multiple
the
others.
argument. Like where women's like, you knew that I have, a kid, but yet you still wanted to engage with me. So yeah, of course, like you don't, and should you get credit for that? It's like no, you knew what you step into. Oh, I get that argument, but I would say that's not a good argument that's not a good place to come from, because yes, when you come with baggage,
Hold
it's
on. Before you, I understand that, but let me put this out here for the guys, fellas. If y'all do accept a woman who is a package deal, meaning that she have kids, it's wrong for you to get in that person's life and then make up excuses
Yeah,
later on why you don't want to be with her. Now that's wrong too. So I just want to say that also.
what's up, DJ? Um, okay, you know, I wouldn't. Okay, I wouldn't. If a guy is single, I would not. I wouldn't. Advise a single guy to date a woman with kids.
Thank
Not,
you.
not first choice, because I feel like yeah, it would not be fair for him. And I would even say the other way around too. No. Now, if a single guy was to get with a woman with kids, yes, even though he, you know, knowingly and willingly, to be with her and support the kid, I still feel like she, the mother, has to, um, not sort of like come with this like I don't want to really say in like entitlement, attitude, but then she does have to realize that yeah, it takes a lot for yes a single guy to want to be with not only be with you but to raise a kid that isn't theirs, and so to always make sure that your kid is respectful of the husband, and yes, there's a pecking order,
Yeah,
although I don't really like to I'm
but
not too
but it's the truth.
uh, yes, it is that should always have respect. I would even go as far as to teach the kid, you ain't my
Yeah.
father, especially if he's been supporting the kid since like a baby. No, that
Hmm.
is your dad, especially if he's been raising you for that long.
I mean, not necessarily he's your dad, but he is. You have to recognize him. Whatever the relationship the child has with him, that's their relationship. But what you
Hmm.
still need
Okay.
to instill, what you still need to instill in him is that, like, still have the respect for your father because he's your father. Like, whatever he is, good or bad, let him find that out. But also, I want to say to the fellas, because a lot of times we don't go in knowing this, or we know it, but I don't know what it is. But fellas, also, if you're dealing with a woman who has kids, you can't be mad at her that she puts the child first. I know what you meant when you said entitlement. It's not entitlement, but if the child came before the man, then the child is on to always come before the man. That's something that men coming into that situation, that package deal, we have to understand that. You can't get mad at her because she putting her child first. That's her natural instinct as a mom.
Yep,
So of
I agree.
course, right. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's a delicate balance, but people need to be in the right state of mind, the right, you know what I'm saying, and the right heart and all that stuff. Because like I said, if you signing up for it, the reason why I say this, because my first wife was a baby mama. You know what I'm saying? I looked at her as a woman with a child, but hell, she wasn't even a woman yet. You see what I'm saying? Like, she was young, I was young, but she had a child even younger, when she was even younger, right? So that's why I'm saying, I'm telling you this from experience. I didn't look at her as a baby mom. I looked at her as a woman with a child. But it was shown later on that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that child gonna always come first. It just is what it is.
Understood.
And that's when it comes to the mom to have that conversation.
No, do you think there's ever a time where a woman should put the man before kids?
You're not really putting him before the children. It's a pecking order, and everybody is falling into line. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
that's why the structure and the order is the way it is, and it can't be mixed up or rearranged. It's the man, the woman, and the children. So if the man comes in and the woman and the child is already a package deal, then the woman is the buffer. You're going to relay all the information the child needs to know. And because right now it's just a child, but then once y'all start adding other children into the mix, everybody needs to be on the same wavelength, right?
Mhm.
She's the middleman.
Yeah, she's the middleman. So you're going to be, because that's why they say you're all the first teachers. Whatever you instill and teach into your son, because that's why I said you still have to teach him to respect that man. You might not, you
Mm.
ain't got to like him because he ain't your daddy. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't here for you. Not like that. That's my husband. You see what I'm saying? Because you got to also think about it as the woman. Your son or daughter going to grow up one day and find people of their own. Right or wrong.
Yep.
Right. Yes.
So you can't
Very true.
you can't put your whole life on the back burner because of your child. So that's why I say that even with that, that's a delicate balance. So yes, the child comes, first or whatever like that. That's your priority because that's your child. You are a mother.
And
But
at this stage, the children are being molded too.
right, exactly. But like I say, a lot of that interference, like, because let's be real, the interference comes in with the mom. If the mom is the type that's on the back end saying, you ain't got to listen to him, that ain't your daddy, you'll never get through to him. You see what I'm
Nope.
saying?
Yeah.
So we got to, that's why I say we have to be honest. Because if she's still harboring feelings and she's still trying to use that child against him, because the step parent is supposed to be an advocate also, whether people know it or not. Because even in my situation, because like you said, the baby daddy wanted to act a certain kind of way because now I'm in the picture because he thought he can handle this woman a certain kind of way and no nobody else will want her or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, no, it don't work like that. No, you still need to do for your child. Just because I'm here, you can't just pass the buck off on me and say you're not going to see him and this, that, and other. No, you're going to do all of that. This is
You
your
have to become
responsibility,
the delineator.
right? This is your responsibility. And it's like, I know people looked at it a certain way, but even when I ended up in that same situation on the outside looking in, I wish that I had somebody who was saying, hold on, no, you don't do that. You don't keep him away from his children and vice versa. You don't keep the children away from their father. Like, what's wrong with you? Because that's what I
I
was
agree.
on. I don't care about how you feel about this situation, sir and mom. But y'all need to get whatever y'all got together because y'all made this child. Don't have this child feeling like they did something wrong because they innocent.
Mhm.
Because they damage
Mm.
kids like that, man. They do. To this day, me and him, we cool. You know what I'm saying? My stepson. But we went through a bunch of stuff. But we're cool now because he's gotten to that age where he started having kids and he started going through some of the same things that I went through with his mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I
see, now
mean,
you see that I'm not crazy. Now you see that I was trying to instill discipline into you. Cause I know where you was going. And once I was out of the picture, where did you go? Exactly where you said I was gonna end up. I know. And I hate it for you. But I was trying to avoid that. Even though you're not my son. I know you was. Looking at it now, I know you was. And that's why we, you know what I'm saying, can have the conversations that we have. But like I said, man, we be playing with this game called life like it don't mean nothing. Everything we do means something.
yep.
I got into that woman's life when her child was 2 years old. This young man is almost 30, and we still cool.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He's lost one of his kids' mom. You know what I'm saying, and all kind of stuff. And it's like I know what you. Now I see. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff we go through that we shield
Mhm.
y'all from because y'all are children.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
So the toxicity is from us women.
No. Don't take that from this
I know,
conversation.
I know. I was just being, yeah, I
What
was
I
just
was
playing around.
saying, yeah, what I was saying, because I mean, if the guy is the interference, then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that comes with that. First of all, if the guy is the problem, it's going to be one of them situations where you done wasted your time. And I know that's not a good place for a woman with a child because y'all are automatically looking at survival. Y'all are
Hmm.
in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be because you're trying to protect. You know what I'm saying? A
Hmm.
being can try to get it to grow up, and that's what I'm learning. I've been in in this current marriage, and I've seen this set of children from birth or pregnancy really to now, and I'm like, it's a difference being there than when you're not, and nothing can replace that. Nothing can replace that. It damages their self confidence, their self esteem, their self worth, how they look at the world, and all of that stuff. Like we need to start taking a lot of this stuff more seriously. But
Hmm.
it starts with us. We have to fix ourselves or find out what the problems was, and that's why I get frustrated when people push the buck off on something else. No, let's keep it right here and try to disseminate what our issue with it is before we pass it off to somebody else and try to make it seem like it's somebody else's fault. Because you don't never get nowhere like that. If I would have sat around and kept pointing at everybody and saying, "Oh, everybody did this," instead of pointing to myself and be like, "Well, what did you do besides pick wrong? What else did you do?" You see what I'm saying? Like I would have never found what I needed because I would have still had to learn that lesson.
Do
We
you
men
believe that
learn
there's?
predominantly through trial and error.
Oh,
It's
okay.
easy to say that a man should have did, a man should have vetted, a man should have this or that, but sometimes just some dudes are just hard headed and they just need to go through the rough patch to understand what the information meant that was given to him. You can give a man information 100 hours out of the day, but until it's acquiesced and practiced, it's not really going to mean much.
What is a vet? What's a vet? First of all, a
Vetting
vet
or vetting?
vetting. When you say you have to vet somebody, vet is always short for veteran. To be a veteran at something, you had to put time in. You can't vet
Yep,
nobody before you meet them. You can only vet them while you're in in a interaction with them.
exactly.
I hate when we throw these types of words around. Not not saying anything towards you, but you because I'm gonna say this. You can't there is no such thing as vetting somebody. You either with them or you're not because you can be with somebody your whole life and they should still do something after 50 years and you be like, what? I didn't know you did that. So
Yeah,
when people try to say vet is to try to make it seem like know everything about this person before you no, there's no such thing. How am I gonna know how you act once I put a baby in you if I ain't put a baby in you? How am I going to know how you act with a child if you don't have a child and I haven't given you one? So it's like people be like, oh, you should have known. How? If you should have known, then you should have never been punched in your face before. You should have always known the duck. You know what I'm saying? Like we throw around cliches and stuff and we don't unpack it. We just say little quick snips to try to sound good. No, hell no. That ain't how life works. To vet somebody like what I said, I've listen to me closely. I said I've been married for 5 years, but we've been together for 15. Right? So on the outside looking in, somebody could be like, why you wait 10 years to marry her? Who said I was the one waiting? You can't drag the chick down the aisle by her hair. That's kind of frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe we was letting life happen and see how we, you know what I'm saying, handle certain things about life happening. I didn't never think I'd stick around with a chick who lost their mama. And now I know she looking at me to take care of her. I didn't think that I would, you know what I'm saying, would ever be in that space mentally. I was a player. I was a, you know what I'm saying? I'm out of here. You ran out of gas, don't call me no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was that guy. But like I said, after some self-reflection and things like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't call me for no bus fare. Don't your legs work? Like, I was that guy. That's why I don't understand why people be, you know, tricking off and things like that. OF and all, you know, I can't do it. And I'm not trying to be mean or no type, you know what I'm saying? It's just I look at the world differently. I'm like, no, our place is we supposed to find somebody that we like, and I mean like, you know what I'm saying? Cause love, you'll get to love them. Trust me. Love comes. The way you love her the first year ain't gonna be the way you love her in year 10. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not be able to live without her in year 10. You see what I'm saying? Whereas in year 1, you just like her a lot. So we can't go in with this whole love notion neither, because trust me, love is when you see it, you know it. Basically, when you see somebody that made a sacrifice for you and you didn't even ask them to do this, and I'm talking about a sacrifice, put whatever it is on it, but you know that it was a sacrifice. This person didn't have to do it, but they did it. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted to see you happy or they wanted to see you content. That's love. You know what I'm saying?
Love's an act. It's not. It's
Right.
not really. Well, it could be a feeling. There's that too, but for the
Right.
most part, overall, predominantly, it's action.
It's an act. You got children?
Me personally, no.
Okay. You have any children, Ms. Zyrax?
Yes, I do. I have 3.
The biggest act of love that you showed that man is when you laid down on that table and had his child. Because we both know going in that she may or may not make it.
Yes.
The child may or may not make it. And then what? Because y'all been nursing this thing for the last almost a year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So even though whatever happened between you and those relationships, if any of those people were there at that moment, you can't sit here and tell me that the look y'all had in each other's eyes was that y'all are never part. Especially once they put that baby between y'all and be like, this is what y'all did. This is what y'all made.
Yes.
It hit a little different. All that, you know what I'm saying, boyfriend, girlfriend
Yes.
bullshit. No, that go out the window. It hit different. You like, oh no,
Yes.
like we done some shit. Because
Uh-huh.
guess what y'all did? Y'all actually became gods in that moment. That's why we say that during sex. You became no, real talk. You became God. In order for you to even get no, that's a whole nother show. But y'all two came together and y'all created a life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how your kids are, but whatever age they are, you look at them now and remember back then when they was handheld size. You know what I'm saying? They could just fit
Yes.
in the palm of your hand. It's like you did that by you nurturing and keeping that thing alive. You did that. To see other people not taking that job or that whole thing seriously, you see where the frustration comes from?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing. Like what the men are saying. Like if the person, because I'm not saying that because you have multiple baby fathers doesn't mean that you're a good woman. Because at the end of the day, the person that's going to choose you is going to make that distinction. Don't get frustrated by what random people are saying on the internet. Only worry about what the person that's going to choose you, the person that's going to take you seriously. Only worry about what they think at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Very cool.
Definitely. Like I've always said, I'm married, by the way, with my, with our three kids. And um one thing that I realized, after all these years, it's that, the reason why, yeah, we're still together. We've been together for 13 years, and it's how, it's like little things that you see that makes you like fall in love with your spouse or your partner,
Yep.
again, and it's how they interact with, like your kids, you know um
You
like I
heard what
still
you just
remember.
said, that again part. That's what people be missing. Again. That's why I say you could fall in love over and over and over and over with the same person. Y'all,
Hmm.
go ahead. My
I
fault.
think so.
I know so.
Yeah, and so, just little things that he does, like they could just, when they were babies, like when he would just, instead of, he'll let me sleep and he'll pick up the baby and feed and change and stuff, just little stuff like that. Yeah, it makes you, of course, look at your partner in a better light, and then, that light just gets brighter as the years go by,
That's
and
the sacrifice I was talking about.
mm,
Not to cut you off, but that's
no.
one of the little sacrifices. He let you sleep. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Hmm.
it ain't no big deal to nobody on the outside looking in, but it meant everything to you because you was tired, exhausted.
Heck yeah.
So instead of
Hmm.
bothering you, I love her so much, I'm gonna let her sleep. And I got him or her. You know what I'm saying? I got the baby. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna blah 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 blah. And now when you wake up and you see, damn, they bonding and they ain't even wake me up. You know what I'm saying? They let me sleep. Something in your heart was like, oh, I love that man. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Yes.
but if you deny yourself even having his child, you will deny that that experience. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's the stuff that those are the what I call the real love notches. You know what I'm saying? Those are the real love notches. Man, he thought about me enough to you don't forget stuff like that. And I know you don't because you just brought it up as an example.
Hmm. Go
Man,
ahead,
this is a
yeah,
great
sorry.
topic. No, you're good. I just wanted. This is a great topic. I'm glad I'm alive today.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me up here.
Oh, always, bro. The door's always open. I never
Most
know who's gonna
definitely.
pop up whenever I go live. Honestly, but the door's always open for anybody.
That's what's up.
I'm willing to have to
DJ
talk.
Witch Doctor. Yeah, DJ Witch Doctor be cooking too, man. Shout out to you.
For real, he do. That's the broski. Shout out to the doctor.
Hmm.
But real quick though, real quick.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, get it off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say though, real quick. If y'all are enjoying the show, make sure y'all are getting the likes up. And if y'all are enjoying everything, y'all appreciate the content and the conversation we're having so far. If you would like to help donate to the show, consider donating to the Taco Fund. It'll go straight back into the show and it'll help your bro out in the long run. I'll see y'all. We'll hit you with a quick commercial break, real quick, and we'll get right back to the conversation.
Yo quiero taco. Oh, I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money. Just kidding.
I'll take it. Thank you.
And we're back. Damn, we're cooking today, though. Honestly, this is a needed conversation for folks to hear. But I was getting to earlier, though, getting back to dial it back a little bit, was oh, just got a cash out. Oh shit, Stanley. Appreciate you, Stanley, for the $5 cash app. Let me show you. Let me show my appreciation to you real right. Yeah, I gotta organize my clips, man. I appreciate the $5, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
For sure, bro.
There you are.
You little old ladies, it's the milkman. Come on, it's time to collect all that milk money. That's all I can do. I'll give you a half a point more. That's it. Yeah. All right. Hey, man, that's the point spread. You gotta be cool, bro.
I got two more cash apps right in the middle of that from both DJ Witch Doctor and Xerax. I appreciate you. Thank you, Xerax. Thanks, Doc. Let me show y'all some more appreciation. I gotta get some more clips for this, but I'll be right back.
You little old ladies, it's the milkman. Come on, it's time to collect all that milk money. That's all I can do. I'll give you a half a point more. That's it. Yeah. All right. Hey, man, that's the point spread. You gotta be cool, bro.
I feel the generosity. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Just even stopping by and leaving a comment. That in and of itself goes a long way. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Xerax. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Stanley.
I'm glad I finally caught the line.
Of course.
Hell yeah, bro. I didn't even know you were subscribed to me. That's crazy. I appreciate it though. Honestly.
Yeah, I subscribed to you when you was commenting on the band show.
I'd be there, yeah. I'd be there.
Yep.
Not as much as I should be probably, but I'm always just out here doing my own thing mostly.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
I know how it go. You're supposed to. Carve your own lane out.
Yep. But what I was gonna get to is to stem the conversation back just a little bit. We're talking about vetting. How I was brought up because I was raised in a not a military family, but a militant family who they've done time, and their way of thinking was very militant, very structured and organized. And how what I meant by vetting was assessing and analyzing a situation and weighing out whether or not the rewards outweigh the risks. If the reward outweigh the detriments, if the risk is worth the reward. That's how I personally was. I don't expect everyone to be just like me. We're all individuals, but that's how I've always gone about things personally. Because you can, and mind you, I'm not knocking nobody that doesn't do that or who has that type of outlook.
Right.
That's how I've personally always, since I was a little kid, raised to be. Because they themselves had to make decisions in that street life that costed them a lot of things, and they have the ink on their body to show that the time that they did. Because yeah, that's just a whole other conversation. But
right,
they had they said go all in either go all in or don't even look at its direction. Basically, not only that, you have to take everything that comes with it as well.
Exactly. That's the message, bro. But that's the message.
Yeah.
We got to apply that to everything in life.
Yep. You
You know what I'm saying?
because even going back to the mother and the father, say there's some type of fallout, and now you're in the picture. Now you have to be the delineator and say there's no real deal or real conclusion to any type of the conversation that there are. So you have to be there, and you have to say, well, here I get the kids on this day. You can get the kids on that holiday. And so you have to weigh out and be the human calculator for both sides, so you can both prove to her and him that the child is in good hands, since you're going to be there, the one who's mostly there 9 times out of 10. So if you can't, and if that's not really going to make any sense to you, if, don't really go into the situation thinking it's going to be a bakery.
Right. Absolutely. I think that part of the problem is we do go into these situations thinking that it's gonna be a cakewalk, that we're gonna get the perfect person, and we ain't gonna never have no hiccups, no problems, no downfalls, no nothing. And it just don't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? And what I've learned is it's kind of hard to predict the return on investment, so to
Yeah,
speak, or the it's hard to weigh out the risk versus the rewards, because if you don't do nothing, you don't create nothing, right? And
exactly.
what I mean by that is if you don't go out into this world and experience it for what it is, you won't have no experiences to compare what you know what I'm saying? Like, cause
Yeah, you got to
cause
put in those man hours.
right, cause getting married was once looked at, you know what I'm saying, in certain places like the community I grew up with, is when you're
That's the
getting
end game.
married, yeah, when you're getting married, that means you're retiring your player card.
Yep,
You see what I'm saying? So it's,
you've
it's like,
attended.
yeah. So you put a person in the mind state that, like, well, I don't think I'm completely ready to turn in my player card, so I ain't gonna get married.
Mm-hmm.
So, 'cause like you said, if you all in, you got to be all in. The reason why we kind of at this place now is because a lot of people been going all in, and we're dealing with the results of leaving situations early. Because to break up because we had an argument, I think that's wild. And a lot of times that's all it takes these days. You got loud or you got
Mhm.
fly, you know, you hurt my feelings. So I'm out.
Men in general don't like operating halfway, like completing tasks. And when we sometimes a relationship, if it doesn't see its course, or sometimes maybe it does. That's depending on who that man is, how his outlook is. But predominantly, men like to operate in a routine fashion, and they like completing tasks. And when a broken up relationship is like, you feel like you weren't operating to your full potential. Sometimes you're
Right.
like, damn.
You hit the nail on the head with
You
that
look at yourself. You look at yourself, and you're like, damn. I could have sworn I was doing this. Well, maybe I'm lacking on that area, so maybe I can work on myself and possibly get back together, or fix whatever that went wrong, so I can move on and go on to the new relationship, and I can have that taken care of.
one. Yeah. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Cause I don't know. Have you ever experienced anything like that, Zarex?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there are a few times where like I've gotten into it with like yeah, like my husband, and I'm like, you know what, like fuck this relationship. But
Right.
then of course, you at that moment, when you're feeling, a certain way, yeah, you're gonna think that. But one thing that should always um remind you to not give up should be, your kid's face, right? When they're like, running to you, running to to their to their dad, and then, you have to remember, like, you do not want your kid. This is the thing that, yeah, but that I always have to say to myself, like, you said you don't want to raise your kid, you don't want your kids to be raised in a one parent household,
Right.
you know, because
Or vice
like
versa.
whatever. Mhm. It's like if you had like a bad childhood, what you don't want to do is, inflict that onto your kids, or have your kids repeat the that cycle. Whatever curse, whatever generational curse that you have, you always want to try your best to break it. Make sure your kids don't go through the same shit that you've gone through. And so, my number one thing was to make sure that, yeah, my kids, don't grow up in a one parent household. I was lucky enough, to be, raised in a two parent household, but my husband, no. His parents divorced at a very young age, and so he was raised by a single mom his whole life, with a few boyfriends coming in and out and stuff, and and because of that, my husband, he's, yeah, he doesn't he doesn't give up at all. We would have fights and stuff, and he would still, come, like, at the end of the night. He would still come and say I love you and stuff like that, even though he knows that I'm mad at him, or even if, when he's mad at me, he would always, because to him it's like we're a family,
Right.
regardless.
Yep. I'm glad you brought that back around.
Mm.
Came back, kind of came back full circle. What I mean by that is whether y'all together or not, anytime that y'all are around and that child is in the vicinity, y'all are family.
Yep.
Y'all are a family, and the reason why it goes bad a lot of times because one or both of the parties don't look at it as that. They look at it as, oh, this is a mistake that we made. We shouldn't have never met. No, y'all are a family. But if y'all have that family mindset, then I think people will get along a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot more.
Yeah, I think so too.
I didn't want to come in stepping on no toes, regardless of who I am to this woman. This is your kid's mom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm not really here for him like that. Of course, I'm gonna make sure he all right, and if she need me to do anything, then more than likely I'm gonna do it. But at the same time, I'm not trying to be you because I
Hmm.
can't be you. You know what I'm saying? You've been there, done
Hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? Because I already knew how it would have been because my mom was a single mom. You know what I'm saying? All my brothers, we got different fathers, and I said I don't want that. I don't want no situation like that. If I'm with a chick, I'm gonna take her seriously. Because I've been with my current lady 15 years, and previously I've been with her 13 years. So I've been in relationships. That's all I do. I don't just be trying to meet people on humbug, like, you know what I'm saying?
Same here, and we're intentional.
Yeah, because I know it's not this woman's fault per se if I allowed her to like me because of certain things that I'm doing, giving her time, giving her money, giving her energy, giving her wood. You know what I'm saying? And now that she's pregnant, I ain't got nothing to do with that. What? No, I don't. Nah, come on, cuz you don't supposed to move like that because men don't move like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So there's a lot of blame to go around, but at the same time, it's because I don't feel like it's a pile on all this gender or pile on all that gender. No, we just have to be responsible for our part of it.
Yep.
Yes.
The family has to operate as a unit.
Exactly.
Once things
Exactly.
start getting dysfunctional and all kinds of like
Yeah.
um, mayhem happens and everyone goes their own route, and that's in a way good, carve your own path, but Well, there's no longer structure there. It's just
No, I'm saying
they start disrespecting each other.
as a man, not to cut you off, but as a man, you're supposed to carve your own path out in this life. But as a family, you're supposed to move as a unit because
Yep.
you
Mm-hmm.
always represent your family. You know what I'm saying? That's why, that's another reason why marriage is so important. Because by you getting married to somebody, y'all just combine two families. It
Yep.
don't mean nothing to people these days because a lot of us don't have families. But if you've ever been to a family reunion, like if me and somebody was dating, we just, we've been dating for 6 months or whatever case may be. The family reunion comes up, and the family reunion is 2 days apart, right? They're not on the same day. My family reunion and her family reunion. Once we soak in the fact that all these people know us, all the, and we've been introduced to all these folks, whatever case may be. Now that we married, and these people come to the actual wedding, and then they get to meet each other. Like now we got all these folks involved. It's not just we're involved. And I think that's a lot of the reason why a lot of marriages are also able to break up too. It don't be no whole village saying, hey, I know what such and such said, but it's 10 other folks that say, no, you need to stay. Whether it's talking to the man or talking to the woman. But no, y'all need to stay together for the betterment of the family. It's not a lot of that going around no more. People get to leave and they the only decision maker. Them and their lawyer.
Hmm. Sometimes there'll be so much discourse between the two that sometimes even leaving is the best choice. But even that within itself, that means things have gotten that bad, that
Yeah,
having to leave is the peace.
yeah. When it's that bad to where you got to leave, then it's bad.
Yep. It's even worse in the kids because they gotta go to sleep, seeing everything happen.
Yeah, that and for the record, children never get over it. Regardless of
Nope.
what we think, children never get over it. Trust me. I'm telling you, from a child that has never gotten over it. Like we don't never get over the why my parent ain't around.
Exactly. If we can't get over it, what makes you think our kids, would
Exactly.
can get over it?
Right.
And kids are sponges; they soak everything in.
Yeah.
Even when you think they weren't paying attention, they hear all of it.
Right. They worse than sponges.
Oh, I was about to say that too.
Yeah, they are. They're worse than sponges. What they are tape recorders. They're blank sheets, and everything that gets written on them is what they hear and see.
Yep.
They're, you know what I'm saying? They blank. So, because I said this the other day, and I had to really think about it. I said, good parenting is when your child tells you something that you told them that was wrong.
Yep.
And they saw you doing it and they're able to reiterate it to you like, remember you told me not to do that and why? I'm like, oh,
It's like a full circle moment. Yep.
exactly. That's when you know you have been parenting. Straight up. Cause I'm like, damn, I needed that. And I probably wouldn't have received it from nobody but that person.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is another thing too. Everybody can't lead everybody. And that's why I was saying that you can't lead randoms or it ain't no reason to lead randoms because as men out here, men have to carve their own lane out in this world. That's
Yep.
our whole thing. That's our destiny. We have to find out what put us here. Because the women don't have that same burden because y'all can be with anybody. Even though you shouldn't. But you could be, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, definitely.
a beautiful woman has her pick. You see what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
everybody doesn't get picked to be
That's yep.
taken seriously. And what I mean by that is when you taking seriously that man ready to put his life on the line for you and everything that comes after that, everything we create after that. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest factor is the man's reputation.
Right. Which is goes back to the family name. It's tied to the family name. You can't have a family name looking bad. And if you end up being that person that does end up by themselves and they the only family that they have is the one that they created, it's even more importance on your family name because you know that your family starts with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're a part of a long ass chain now. The chain link starts with you. So you
Yep.
got to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're gonna have to pour into the next one, so the next one can pour into the next generation. You got to be on your A game. And I think that's a huge burden that we're asking for a lot of these younger folks to take on, especially in this climate, in this in this dating pool and things like that, man. It's hard.
Yep. It was done like that through design, though, just to
Of course.
discourage you from seeking
Uh,
out a legacy.
yep, of course. All this is all been planned. And the only way to and if you want to know solutions, like I said, find somebody who like you, and when they do try to coerce you into listening to them, tell them no. If they stick around, because they're gonna stick around and they probably gonna do it again and again and again until they realize, yeah, I'm with a brick wall, which is what I absolutely need in my life at the end of the day. A brick wall. And they stick
Yep.
around, you know you got one.
A solid foundation.
Right. But other than that, you can't, as men, we can't get mad that women be trying to push us or whatever the case may be because they,
Oh, that pushback is important. That pushback
yeah,
is very important because
it,
sometimes you lose your way and you don't even see it. And
right.
she's the one who's holding from the outside, and she's like, "Yo, you're a little off. You're a little off the tracks. Let me help you get back. Slightly
Exactly.
easy to the right, slightly easy to the left, and
Yep.
the rest you can do. You know what I mean? As a man yourself.
Right. Because see, like I said, going back to what I said about I'm not trying to get on women when I say we don't listen to them because it's a lot to unpack before you can just accept what I just said.
Yep.
But when we get to that point where we actually come to you and say, well, baby, what's your opinion on this?
Mm-hmm.
That's us listening to y'all. So I'm saying we do that a lot. It's just that when we have as men, we have so much going on in our minds because we're trying to keep this world that we created in essence. We trying to keep it afloat. We trying to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? We trying to keep it
Yep.
running like a well-oiled machine. And here your ass come. You know
Even
what I'm saying?
doctors and scientists need second opinions.
Right. Here you come telling me about something that I have. Like, you coming with some woman stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, what color you think I should paint? I don't care. But instead of saying that, because I'm not gonna say that, because I know that's how you're gonna be like, well, excuse me, and you probably shut down and never say nothing to me ever again. So what has
Yep.
to happen is you got to know that this person is going to do that. This is just what they do. And that's why I'm saying I can speak from a position of where I am and to tell the ladies nicely that we're not listening, but it's a reason why we're not listening. First of all, we're listening out for very important things that we need to hear. Because if we hear
Yep.
an important word, then we be like, hold on, now what you say? You see what I'm saying? We
Yep.
tuned in a little bit more. But ladies, don't take it the wrong way. We can't hear you over our own thoughts a lot of times because they're way more important to keep this thing going.
Our natures are completely different.
Exactly. That's
Our
just like
instincts are made
right.
differently.
Right. That's just like one and you're gonna learn this. I'm glad you don't have kids yet, because you'll learn this. Trust me. You can sleep like a rock now, but it's gonna come a time when you have a child and you're gonna be able to hear the wind blowing a leaf outside, and it's gonna wake you up out the middle of your
Yep.
sleep. And women, they'll obtain that before you, because it's gonna be times where it's just y'all two, and you be like, man, this girl done slept for 2 days straight. She ain't gonna do that with no child. If she hear
Yep.
that child burp in the middle of the night, she jumping up. And it be biology, man. It's nature. Like, some things we can't shape. The best part of us is when we are operating in the position that we need to be in.
Yep.
When men operate like men and when women operate like women, we can't go wrong. When women
Thank
operate
you.
like men and men are operating like women, now we got a problem.
Yep.
Cause now we asking for this. We asking for something to function normally in dysfunction. How is that gonna happen?
It's gonna be chaos.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So we keep asking ourselves, why are we in chaos? Like, no, we supposed to know by now why we in chaos. Everything out of damn order.
Yep.
How you gonna get order out of chaos? You got to create it. Step away from the chaos, create you some order, and stick to it.
Find your routine and your regimen. Operate as such.
Right.
Yeah, this has been a great show.
For sure. Yeah, that's gonna be my final words, my final
I
thoughts.
appreciate you, bro. Come back anytime, bro. The door's always open.
All right, I
I
appreciate you guys,
appreciate
man.
you.
I'll take you up on that invite. If I catch you live, I'll come through.
Thanks, bro. All right, appreciate it.
All right, peace, everybody in the chat, and it was also nice meeting you, Miss Zyrex. Peace,
Yeah, she's good people.
for sure.
All right, folks. Zaraz, can you do me a favor? Can you link his channel in the chat real quick so folks can go subscribe to him as well? Yeah, that was a good talk. I'm glad I did the monologue yesterday, so I was able to engage with this. Because from now on, when I'm doing something, when I'm in engage a topic, I want to be more careful with it, as careful as possible. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody, bro. Honestly, this has been very, very, very delightful, very insightful. That's the type of stuff I want to have over here, bro. Carefully constructed conversations. As crazy and chaotic and as that might seem, honestly, these type of conversations are something that I want people to look back on and put it and be able to instruct into their own lives. And even if you have to modify it, right? Acquiesce to what works with you and operate in your manner. But damn, I got love today. I got the Cash App love. Got I can't see the likes, but I'm going on good faith. The likes are up too. The constructively, carefully constructed conversation was had today. Damn, this was good. Very, very good. I'm very happy with this. Very, very happy. But with that being said, man, I'm hungry as hell. I'm gonna make myself some dinner. 13 likes. Let's go. Man, I seem a lot. I'm one of the little guys, so damn. I honestly hope that you all had a great year. I hope 2025 is just as good, if not even better, for y'all. Each and every one of you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Like we're brothers and sisters. Honestly. Thank you very much for stopping by and always showing me love when y'all pull through. No worries, Alex. Y'all know the door is always open for everybody. But with that being said, I'll uh I'll catch y'all on the back end. See ya.
When I return, there will be anarchy.
Once upon a time, what a fool thought he'd find purpose in this life along the way. Don't you run and hide from the truth you desire. Everything that lives is born away. Once upon a time, when a fool thought he'd find purpose in this life.